All right, we're gonna take a break from the the many Polina Gagarina. I said that right. Polina Gagarina videos that I've been making, and do a little different. Do something a little different. Man, I can't talk. And let's see if we can not get copyright strike. And because what's been happening is I've been, I'll edit the video, and before it uploads, YouTube will block it because of copyright issues. So let's see if I can not deal with that. So I've gotten tips to, apparently you have to pause what you're watching and comment a little to avoid getting copyright strike. If you leave the video on for 30 seconds, YouTube will sense it. So let's see if this doesn't do that.
God, seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
The world has changed.
Oh wow, 30 seconds. Look at that. I'm gonna guess we're gonna hear Captain America's voice. I understand that Robert Downey Jr. is like this big celebrity and he's huge and he's part of the reason why, or maybe the reason, one of the biggest reasons why the Avengers and the Marvel Cinematic Universe became a success. But honestly, I feel like he's a little too much in the center. I mean, he's kind of like, and people have said this ad nauseum, that he's like Tony Stark in real life, and Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. He's not acting, he is Tony Stark, so to speak. But we don't want that in the actor. I mean, I think a good director would have obviously that personality, but not make it, have him take up most of the, screen time and airtime, Just my 2 cents. I actually didn't like the first Avengers movie, but let's get that later.
None of us can go back. All we can do is our best. And sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
I saw all these people die. I keep telling everybody they should move on. Some do, but not us.
That's another thing, and I think, I went over 30 seconds, but I don't necessarily like Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. I don't know. I mean, it kind of, she feels a little too American for me, and she's supposed to be Russian, and in the beginning I thought, if she's going to play Russian spy, she should have a little bit of a Russian accent. But if you're as good of a spy, supposedly, as the Black Widow, you would be able to hide your accent. So, I don't really, the accent is not the issue with me. It'd be nice to see some Russian attitudes, personas, I don't know, behaviors. Anyway, let's move on.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
We will. Whatever it takes.
That's That haircut here. Let's see if we can put. Yeah, come on. You know, half of the population died, and you know, you're literally fighting for the world or the universe, and you decide it's a good time to have a wacky haircut. Okay. Last thing that would be on my mind, but whatever.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
It's going to be so effective what you're doing. This training that you're doing is going to be essential to the mission. Or maybe it's just, you know, for rapport. And look at that, eh? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I think the first Captain America movie should have more of. It was way too PG, 1940s, good old 1940s type of movie, you know? I think it should have been more of a war movie like this, the first Avengers. Kind of like, not unlike the first Iron Man movie, which is why people liked it so much. It was kind of, it didn't shy away from violence and brutality.
Whatever it takes.
What is this now? Captain Canada, eh? Okay. Team Canada, yeah, let's go. Endgame. Oh.
I like this one.
Now I feel bad for not having watched Captain Marvel yet. I have like one movie buddy that I go with, and he already went. I generally don't like to watch movies alone. And yeah, I still haven't seen Ant-Man 2. And it took me 2 or 3 years to watch the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So it's nothing against Captain Marvel at all. But yeah, so interesting. I mean, honestly, it would have been more interesting if Iron Man died in that snap. I love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, but I think if you were the directors of these films, you wouldn't have Tony Stark, Iron Man, take up the majority of the screen time. You know, like the first Avengers movie, for example. By that time, you already had Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. And you had the first Thor, first Captain America. I think that was it. Right. I think so, yeah. And in the beginning, I think, what was it? The first scene after the whole, you know, Nick Fury and Kobe Smulders' character, Agent, I forgot her name. They had that, their scene, the first hero that we see is Iron Man. It's like, no, you already had 2 movies, all right? It would have made sense for you to be in the lead, to have Iron Man to have the least amount of screen time in Avengers. But no, you were the first hero to show up, and I didn't like that. You know, that deleted scenes of Captain America could have replaced those scenes of Tony Stark in the beginning. We didn't need that. It would have actually been more interesting, you know, to have Tony Stark show up to actually stall his arrival, and then show up, and then, you know, have to people, you know, anticipate, hey, where's Iron Man, and then he shows up, and instead of the scene that we did see where that other SHIELD agent, his name is Agent, the guy that supposedly died and didn't die, I'll probably put a picture right here. Instead of him coming to their apartment and saying, here's the homework, you need to study up, to have him, Tony Stark, to just show up after much anticipation, all prepared. I don't know, I just think that he had too much showtime. Anyway, it's kind of old. The last point I'll make is that I really preferred the 2006 Ultimate Avengers animated movies over the first Avengers live action 2012 Avengers movie. The other two Avengers weren't bad, they were all right. But honestly, I kind of feel like Robert Downey Jr. is kind of just he loves the role, and I love him as Tony Stark. Everybody does, but I feel like he's kind of just he does try to take up more screen time. I don't know. And that's not to take any credit away from him. I think he's great. But more Captain, I don't know. I just think we've seen so much of Iron Man. It would be a little more interesting to see more of what Captain America is going through inside, which is why I really didn't like the 2012 Avengers movie. And I think Chris Evans, the actor that plays Captain America, I don't know how he felt about the movie, but I'm pretty sure he hated that suit. And I hated that suit. What is that suit? It's like you're joining a circus. Anyway, I'm gonna guess in regards to this movie that they're all gonna come back eventually. And I can't remember if this is the last Captain America or Avengers film. I actually can't remember. Is this part 1 and part 2? Oh man, I should probably figure this out. Wait, let's see if I can figure that out.